The Bladder Meridian of Taiyang. The bladder meridian starts from the inner canthus of the eye, goes to the forehead, then goes over the top of the head and goes down at the back side of the neck. Each meridian then splits into two and run bilateral to the spine, hip, and lateral to the thigh, and when the two splitted meridians come at the back of the knee, they merge and runs at the back side of the leg and ends at the lateral side of the fifth finger of the back leg. The first acupoint is BL1, and then the meridian goes to the neck and there is BL10. Then it goes to the spines and there is BL11, and at the hip region there is BL54, and then goes down and there is BL36, and at the back of the knee there is BL40, at the ankle there is BL60, and the very last acupoint is BL67 at the outside of the fifth digit. Okay, I'll explain one by one. BL1 is above the inner canthus. Inner canthus is inside of the eye. When you go a little bit above the inner canthus, there is BL1. Next, you go up to where the eyebrow grows. That point is BL2. And then the meridian runs over the top and back of the head. In between the first and second cervical vertebra, the depression caudal to the first vertebra, there is BL10. Okay, I'll explain using the bone specimen. BL1 is above the inner canthus. Next, you go up to where the eyebrow grows. On the very middle side of the eyebrow, there is BL2. Then you go up along the head, then to the neck, and then to the spines. In between the first and second cervical vertebra, the depression caudal to the first vertebra, you have BL10. Above the inner canthus, there is BL1. Next, you go up above BL1 to where the eyebrow grows, and you get BL2. Then you go up the head and then to the back. In between the first and second cervical vertebra, the depression is the acupoint BL10. We'll look into the thoracic region of the bladder meridian. On the first thoracic vertebra, caudal to its spinous process, 1.5 cm lateral to the midline, there is BL11. Below that, on the second thoracic vertebra, caudal to its spinous process, 1.5 cm lateral to the midline, there's BL12. From the third rib, the acupoints are at the intercostal space. In the third intercostal space, there is BL13. In the fourth intercostal space, there is BL14. In the fifth intercostal space, there is BL15. In the sixth intercostal space, there is BL16. In the seventh intercostal space, there is BL17. And then you skip the eighth intercostal space. In the ninth intercostal space, there is BL18. In the 10th intercostal space, there is BL19. In the 11th intercostal space, there is BL20. In the 12th intercostal space, there is BL21. All these acupoints are 1.5 cm lateral from the dorsal midline. We'll look into the thoracic region of the bladder meridian. On the first thoracic vertebra, caudal to its spinous process, 1.5 cm lateral to the midline, there is BL11. On the second thoracic vertebra, caudal to its spinous process, 1.5 cm lateral to the midline, there is BL12. From the third rib, the acupoints are at the intercostal space. In the third intercostal space, BL13. In the fourth intercostal space, BL14. In the fifth, BL15. In the sixth, BL16. In the seventh, BL17. And skip 8. And in the ninth, BL18. And 10th, BL19. In the 11th, BL20. And in the 12th intercostal space, BL21. All these acupoints are 1.5 cm lateral from the dorsal midline. Next, we'll look into the lumbar region of the bladder meridian. All of the bladder meridian acupoints on the lumbar region are 1.5 cm lateral to the dorsal midline. And make sure that you're taking at the level of the end of the lumbar transverse process. First acupoint, BL22. First acupoint is BL22. At the level of the end of the first lumbar transverse process, 1.5 cm lateral to the dorsal midline is BL22. Next is BL23 at the level of the end of the second lumbar transverse process. 1.5 cm lateral to the dorsal midline, actually the middle point of the longissimus muscle. And on the third lumbar vertebra, there is BL24. And on the fourth lumbar vertebra, there is BL25. On the fifth lumbar vertebra, there is BL26. On the sixth lumbar vertebra, BL27. On the seventh lumbar vertebra, there is BL28. As you can see, all the acupoints on the lumbar are at the level of the end of the transverse process. So they are on the same line. Next is sacral vertebral region. On the first sacral foramen, there is BL31. On the second sacral foramen, there is BL32. And on the hip region, on both sides at the base of the tail, there is BL35. The bladder meridian acupoints on the lumbar region. On the first lumbar vertebra, at the level of the lumbar transverse process, 1.5 cm lateral to the midline, you have BL22. Here, there's a muscle called longissimus muscle. The acupoint is going to be at the midpoint of this muscle. On the second lumbar vertebra, at the level of the end of the lumbar transverse process, 1.5 cm lateral to the midline, there is the acupoint BL23. And on the third lumbar vertebra, at the level of the end of the lumbar transverse process, 1.5 cm lateral from the midline, there is BL24. On the fourth lumbar vertebra, there is BL25. On the fifth lumbar vertebra, there is BL26. On the sixth lumbar vertebra, at the level of the end of the transverse process, there is BL27. On the seventh lumbar vertebra, at the level of the end of the transverse process, there is BL28. All of these acupoints are 1.5 cm lateral from the midline, and they are aligned. Next is sacral vertebra. On the sacral vertebra, on the first and second sacral foramen, you can feel the depression. The depression on the first sacral foramen is called BL31. The depression on the second sacral foramen is called BL32. The bladder meridian starts from BL1 at the inner canthus, and then BL2 at the eyebrow, and it goes all the way to the back, and there's BL10 and goes down the neck and to the thoracic region. And the lumbar region, as same as the thoracic region, the acupoints are aligned 1.5 cm lateral to the midline. This is the lumbar region. When it is at the sacral region, the meridian runs rather the inside, going inside a little, and at the sacral foramen, you have BL31 and BL32, and then both sides at the base of the tail, you have BL35. Next is the hip and the knee region of the bladder meridian. The landmarks here are BL40 and BL39 at the back of the knee where the knee pit is. BL40 is at the center of the knee flexion crease, right in the middle of the knee. It is in the center of the knee pit. And BL39 is right beside it, on the outside. It is at the base and medial to the tendon of the biceps femoris muscle. Next is BL36. Draw a line connecting the medial angle of the ischial tuberosity and BL40. 1/10 from the medial angle, there is the acupoint BL36. Next is BL37. Draw a line connecting BL36 and BL39. 1/3 from BL36 is the acupoint BL37. Okay, where the knee bend at the back, this line is called the knee flexion crease. You have BL40 at the very center of the knee flexion crease. And slightly outside BL40, there's a tendon called the tendon of the biceps femoris muscle. You'll locate the acupoint BL39 in between the tendon and BL40. Both acupoints are on the knee flexion crease. Okay, after locating the 2 points, now we'll connect the medial angle of the ischial tuberosity and BL40. And 1/10 from the medial angle, there is BL36. And after locating BL36, we'll connect BL36 and BL39. On this line and 1/3 from BL36, we have BL37. Next, let's look into the bladder meridian acupoints on the thigh region. At the back of the knee, right in the middle of the knee pit on the flexion crease, there is BL40. And outside of BL40 and inside of the tendon of the biceps femoris muscle, there is BL39. BL40 and BL39. There is a landmark on the medial angle of the ischial tuberosity. Draw a line connecting the medial angle of the ischial tuberosity 1/10 from the medial angle. There is BO 36. And then connect BO 36 and BO 39. 1/3 from BO 36, there's BO 37. Actually, there exists a second bladder meridian line. The second line is 3 cm lateral from the midline, which means it is 1.5 cm lateral from the regular bladder meridian line. There are several important acupoints on the second line. On the regular bladder meridian at the 4th intercostal space, there is an acupoint called BL14. And 1.5 cm lateral to BL14, there is an acupoint called BL43. Another important acupoint on the second line. Going down to the second lumbar vertebra at the level of the end of the transverse process, there is BL23, and 1.5 cm lateral to BL23, there is BL52. BL43 and BL52 are important acupoints, so please remember them. Another important acupoint on the second line will go down to the hips, and then we have the femur head, the greater trochanter of the femur. Dorsal to this, there is a depression, and it is the acupoint called BL54. On the second line, these 3 acupoints, BL43, BL52, and BL54 are important. As long as you can find these 3 acupoints, you're covered. First, find the 4th intercostal space on the thoracic vertebra. Here at the 4th intercostal vertebra, there is BL14, and 1.5 cm lateral to it, there is BL43. And then you'll stay on this 3 cm lateral line and go all the way down to the second lumbar vertebra. Here you have BL52, which is 1.5 cm lateral to BL23. And let's go down, and here, dorsal to the greater trochanter of the femur, there is BL54. At the 4th intercostal vertebra, 1.5 cm lateral to the midline, there is BL14. 1.5 cm lateral to BL14 is BL43. The 4th intercostal space, 3 cm lateral from the midline, is BL43. And 1.5 cm lateral from the midline at the level of the end of the transverse process of the second lumbar vertebra, there is BL23. And 1.5 cm lateral to BL23, there is BL52. And all the way down to the femur head, dorsal to the greater trochanter of the femur, there is BL54. Let's look into the acupoints below the knees. The landmark acupoints below the knees were BL40 in the middle of the knee pit and the calcaneal tuberosity. Draw a line connecting these 2 landmarks, and in the middle, there is BL57. After finding BL57, 1 cm below and a little to the outside, there is BL58. And on the ankle, there's the external malleolus and the calcaneal tuberosity. In the middle of these 2 points, there's the acupoint called BL 60. Landmarks are BL 40 in the middle of the knee pit and the calcaneum. Draw a line connecting these 2 landmarks, and in the middle, there's BL 57. After finding BL 57, 1 cent below and a little to the outside, there's BL 58. Next is the acupoints around the ankle. On the ankle, there's the external malleolus and the calcaneal tuberosity. In the middle of these 2 points, there's the acupoint BL 60. Next is the acupoint below the ankle. Below the ankle, the bladder meridian runs lateral, and it goes outside the 5th finger, and at the very end of the finger, there's BL 67. Below the ankle, there is BL 63. It is in the depression between proximal end of the 5th metatarsal bone and the distal end of the calcaneum. And then we have BL 64 at the proximal end of the 5th metatarsal bone. And then we have BL 64 at the proximal end of the 5th metatarsal bone. And we have BL 65 at the distal end of the 5th metatarsal bone. And we have BL 66 at the 5th metatarsal phalangeal joint. And last is BL 67 at the base of the nail on the 5th finger. We have BL 63 at the depression in between the calcaneum and the metatarsal bone. And then we have BL 64 at the proximal end of the 5th metatarsal bone. And then you go down along this line and have BL 65 at the distal end of the 5th metatarsal bone. And then along the line, you go over 1 bump and you get BL 66. And at the base of the nail on the 5th finger on the lateral side, you have BL 67. Okay, the landmarks are BL 40, the knee flexion crease, the middle point in the knee pit, BL 40. Draw a line connecting BL 40 and calcaneum tuberosity, the bump on the heel bone. On this line in the middle, there's BL 57. And then once and below BL 57, a little to the outside, there is BL 58. And on the ankle, in between Achilles tendon and the external malleolus, there is BL 60. Here is BL 60. From here, we'll look into the acupoints below the ankle. First, we have BL 63, distal to the calcaneum and proximal to the metatarsal bone, where you can find the depression. Next, BL64 is in the depression proximal to the metatarsal bone. Next, BL65 is on the lateral side at the distal end of the fifth metatarsal bone. BL63, BL64, BL65. And one bump distal to the metatarsophalangeal joint, there's BL66. And the last is BL67 on the lateral side at the base of the nail on the fifth finger.